Welcome back, everyone, to the Marriott Bonvoy check-in after Fnatic's first week in the LEC. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
And congratulations on the 2-1 upset. Did everything go according to plan after, I want to say, that draft on day one?
Yeah, I think the draft of day one was really a wake-up call for us. Like, we realized we should actually pick good champions. And now that we know that we need to pick good champions, we actually are completely unleashed because our champs do a lot of things in the game. So I'm super happy with the champs we picked, and shout out to Gax.
Awesome. Now, there is a champ that was banned again, and actually, you know very well, it's Kalista. And Kalista is sadly, or EU rather, is responsible, sadly, for all of the losses in the major regions. Why do you think that is?
I think it's because teams are pretty bad at using her, I guess. Like, she's very, very strong, but also really hard to play, and you need to play really good around objectives, I think. Because she doesn't scale that well, but it's a bit loud. It's, her early game is very, very good. So I think the teams are just not crisp enough at playing for objectives with her, and also the champ is very hard to play in team fights, so you need to be really good at it, and maybe the level wasn't quite there yet.
Yeah, that makes sense. There was also a tweet from Soaz earlier where he said, well, it seems that any team that has the range, obviously, and the better draft, obviously, will do better, but that draft mistakes are punished even harder in the current patch. Is that correct?
I think it's not as much about the patch, it's more about it being week one of the split. So teams didn't really figure out yet what's the best in the meta, and teams that have a good read on draft have a big advantage in the start. I think now after week one, people will probably realize like what champs they should prioritize a little bit more. But yeah, if you have higher range and the enemy team has no engaged, it's probably going to be a very hard game, as you could see in this one.
Yep.
So yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. Talking about you a little bit and then teaming up with Mickey, how has that been?
I just love it, honestly. He's very, very aggressive, but also a really nice person to be around and work with. So I love how he plays the game, and it's really nice outside of the game too. So I couldn't be happier with my support.
That's amazing. It always starts in the bot lane, but then with everything around it. So how does it work with the rest of the team in general, your entry into the Fnatic, and with coaches that you don't have that much experience with in grabs?
I mean, it feels great to reunite with Razok and Humanoid. I think in the time I was gone, they got a lot, like, even better, I think, than when I played with them in 2022. I think they built a little bit more synergy as well, let's say. So it's very nice to reunite with them, and I think Oscar is just very easy to work with because he just wants to do what's best for the team, I think, and that fits well when we want to play bot lane, I guess. So I'm very happy about that, and yeah.
Yeah, it just looks, I want to say, when you are on Fnatic and in this lineup, like it is right. And I know you had the stint on KC last year, and I know you probably did expect how it was going to go, right? But did you then already think Fnatic is actually the lineup that I would love to get another chance in to kind of prove my worth?
Yeah, definitely. Fnatic was a destination that I was really looking forward to return to, so I was very happy that it worked out in the off-season. I mean, the last year was very rough, right? Especially the first two splits, but after we had a good summer split where we at least ended top 4, I felt quite optimistic about the future again. And I'm very happy to return and show the Fnatic upset again.
Is the word redemption apt, or do you not think about it in that way?
I think that it's appropriate after the last 2 years, because obviously, even though there was some splits where it ended well, a lot of them were also really, really bad. So I'm really looking forward to prove myself, and obviously Fnatic has gone very, very long without winning a title, and it's the same for me. So if we could win a title in Fnatic, I feel like it would be a really big deal for me and also for the fans. So I really hope we can work towards that, and I can make it happen with the team.
Absolutely. I think all the fans are waiting for that. The key player of the game is Razork. You told me about, reuniting with him.
Razork will always get the player of the game. He has way too many Spanish fans, so it's very unfair. I don't know what I need to do, but I'm happy for my jungle. He didn't come bot level 3. I was a bit sad because we had a good trade, but we punished him for it, like yesterday. Like, if we take a really good trade, but then our jungle isn't there, we will for sure die to the enemy, no matter what. So I hope he learns from that, but deservedly got player of the game for us, Maokai.
Do you think he's changed?
I think he's gotten smarter overall a bit. Or like during the year already, when I was playing with him in 2022, he was improving a lot throughout the year. I think in the start he was not that knowledgeable about like what camps to skip and how to play for objectives, but I think he has improved in that aspect, and also I think he's more stable in general, like emotionally and everything. So it's really great to see the development in him.
Okay, how do you feel about the state of the league and about the year we might have for EU?
I think it's super exciting right now, honestly. I think with KC and KOI having strong lineups and G2 obviously still being good, and I think our lineup is also good. There's a lot of competitive teams, and even teams like, let's say, Giants or BDS could get interesting as the year goes on. So I think there's a lot of competition at the top, and I think Europe kind of missed that, and it's really exciting to have so many fans involved as well.
I agree. It's going to be a cool year. Thank you so much, Upset. Congrats on the 2-1 week. And speaking of Movistar KOI, they will be up against Vitality after this break.
These fists ain't just for show. Come on! Who's next? This is the coil before the strike. Let's settle the score. You'll want to get a close-up of this. Like the ivory serpent, I don't back down when it comes to family. You pick a fight with them, you pick a fight with me. Hometown hero coming through. Mom's fought for me since I was born. It's my turn now.
Wait, is he switching lanes?
Welcome back to the LECs. We're getting to the later half of the day. My name's Hysterics. I'm joined by Dagda. Your outfit looks a little bit cooler, but mine has frills.
Jake was very excited about his poncho backstage. He loves this thing.
Never get to wear this. There are limitations on me as a human being, but today is the day, and I've decided to pull out all the stops. Yeah. Dracos and Vedius walked past us as we swapped places, and Vedius is just like, You know that Vedius line?
Yeah, the Vedius side. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, I don't know if disappointment, but
It was disappointment.
excitement.
I can tell you it's disappointment.
No, let's say excitement. KOI versus Vitality, we had the same feeling for because, again, I got to say, Dagda, me personally, I'm very excited for Movistar KOI. I think this roster has shown so much brilliance so far. On the other side, I'm a little bit worried after Hilly's last performance yesterday, the 211 Leona game. So let's see where that balances out.
Yeah, and still getting a lot of respect, though, for that Elise ban. We've seen Elise support starting to creep in. We actually got in the LPL earlier today. Hyper aggressive, but we won't get to see it. Instead, we're going to continue with the Kalista ban. Victor. Nothing too crazy on the opposite side. I still like the Azir ban targeted towards Jojopyun. Exceptional Azir. We saw it on day one.
Yep.
So now the curiosity is, do they continue with like an Orianna ban? Try and put more pressure on towards him? But no, it's going to be the MKOI instead.
Well, Varus is open as a first as well. I like that you mentioned things like the Orianna. Here in the LEC, we really love the Sejuani as well, by the way.
Corki's open though, so...
Corki in the great pick, you're right.
Yeah. But, yeah, I'm curious what the response is going to be on the upside. I probably do just go back towards Varus and say, hey, look, we're going to try and opt in towards that. Cassante also open if you want to try and go for that blind pick for Nako in that top side. But I do think a little bit of flexibility in the jungle would be nice. Like, I think we've kind of gone the way of like the Maokais, the Sejuanis, the Skarners a lot here. We're seeing a lot more variety elsewhere. So even if you really want to open up into some other deeper picks, I'd be more interested to see, because it does feel a little stale at the moment in the jungle pool. Okay,
Yeah.
bye. Yeah, the other one that's banned a lot.
I mean, that doesn't take away from the stale point, though, does it? I mean,
No.
jungle still relatively stays the same. Ezreal as well for Carzzy.
Okay.
It's a nice pick, especially when I think Supa, one of his best champions, has also been that Ezreal throughout the past year and a bit.
I think it's also kind of reading, hey, there's a high chance here that Movistar KOI try to go for a lot of range. So Zyra, the hover here, maybe we actually get Elyoya trying to bring out a little bit of flexibility, because this opens up things like Jace in the mid lane for Jojopyun if you want to, or even just the Jace for Myrwn in that top side. But I do like the idea here of going for a little bit more poke on Movistar KOI, because the Corki already opens you up for that, and you can have that flexibility like we just saw in the last game, where a poke can just reign king in some of these games.
Well, you get that setup from the Zyra anyway. It looks like the Spanish fans really like that one instead of going for the Wukong. As you said, that Jace is on the board. I feel like that's where we sit and start.
And one of the things I love about the Zyra as well is, with the changes to how quickly damage ramps up on the turrets, going for these early dives in a lane swap scenario works out fantastically with these range champions.
Yeah.
Zyra can kind of start it off, she can go in, get that CC, take some of that damage, immediately reset the aggro onto your tanky support like a Nautilus here, and then you can actually continue up on that dive and kind of juggle the aggro really well. So I like that this is an opportunity, and even taking away the blind pick tank that I think Nako would have liked to go for.
Yeah, I mean, the Cassante has not been the most popular, but it has been in the top 3. So having said that, with the amount of games we've had, is get the support. Yo, the team vitality.
They're dancing.
Yeah, they're buzzing.
They're having a great all time.
Sorry, that was bad.
Wasn't?
Yeah, they're a bee.
Yeah, I hadn't gotten that down
Dagda.
the rabbit hole, or into the beehive, I suppose.
That's much better. Yeah, see?
The poncho's changed you, man.
It's all honey to me. Okay, well, Rakan is also good. I know that's what you were about to say. You're about to say that Rakan is just a good option for Hilly here in this game, the ability to roam with Ezreal.
I do agree. Like, I like Rakan in a lot of situations. I'm not as big a fan to things like Zyra, because it's very easy for her to try and lock you up as you're going for that engage. And as soon as you get locked up, the follow-up ultimate, it can make those engages very difficult. And a lot of your engage is already quite telegraphed with the Vi. So I still understand that you're trying to go for more dive here as Vitality, but I do think you've got good answers here on Movistar KOI as to what Vitality you're trying to go for.
Yeah, I like the point. In isolation, fine. How it runs into it, there are questions. So at least take that away when they start banning away the support that, again, could be trouble to it. One of them is the Nautilus on the other side. Okay, Naak is what Movistar KOI are going for here as they try and get rid of Nako's solutions. And when I think about this guy as well, I mean, I think about his versatile champion pool, but Naak sitting up in one of his most played as well is a good choice from KOI.
Yeah, I'm curious if we get the Alistair ban here from Vitality on the opposite side. He can do relatively well pre-6 into the Rakan, because you can get the interrupt with the headbutt. And also I think Alvaro has just been exceptional. A lot of these engage supports, and having that AoE CC is going to be really nice to round out the Movistar composition. But we're going to have to see what the game plan is as Varus is taken away. Last ban, I imagine going to be the Jace here, just to try and make things a little bit simpler for Myrwn in that top side. Actually going to go with the Jax. Okay, so Jace still going to be up on the cards, and I think this is something that Nako has played in the past, and I wouldn't be surprised to see locked in here.
Yeah, I mean, again, we just know this is like the strongest, one of the strongest top laners in the patch as well. Now remember, Unending Despair Jace is banned, but there are many other build paths. There are many other tank items in the game as well.
But it's even if you want it, like we've seen Black Cleaver against some of these tanks, like into Ornn and the K'Sante.
Yeah, we have.
You just look for terror plates and just being able to bully them out. So I think you still have options there if you would like to go for that. But oh, this would be spicy. Okay. And also keeping this open for a little bit of flexibility as well. I imagine it will go top. I don't think you want to take like Rumble into the K'Sante in that top side. You just don't really get the value out of it. But at least it can be flexed to Czajek in the mid lane. But I imagine this is for Nako.
There is versatility on it. Let's just see though, because on the other side we're going to get positions from KOI. Remember that Corki can still also be a flex as well, Dagda, but most of the time has been seen in the bot lane as Rell, the premier engaged champion, still up and available, by the way.
Yeah, so they're going to take it. I thought they might go for the Alistair, but Rell fits that wheelhouse as well. And then I'm curious what Jojopyun wants to go for. I could see a tankier mid laner coming through here, something like the Sylas or the Galio if you really wanted to, just because you've already got that DPS coming through from the backline. But I think for Jojo, just going towards a control mage here will work out relatively well for you as well. I don't think you need to get too crazy with it.
I do like crazy with it though, so I don't want you to say that.
Oh?
Yone had thought. Now, it's funny because, again, you're going up against Nako, who was his most played is actually Yone as well. I was just thinking maybe it could go top. Maybe we could see a match towards mid if that was going to be a flex. I'm thinking about 5 mind games ahead, Dagda, but let's just put it where it is. We know that Yone is probably going to go towards mid. So Jojo, after his roughie yesterday on the Ahri, looks like he's going to try and test out this Yone mid.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it works out well. You've already got the AP jungler, more damage, more CC to follow up with that Rell, and I think you've got a nice little combo there, and especially something that can just threaten the backline.
Yep.
Vitality want to dive in on top of you. Everything is going to jump on towards the likes of this Corki, so having something that can kind of threaten the Ezreal while that is happening is also going to work out great for you.
Last pick though, let's find out. Ambessa mid or top? It looks like it's going to be a top Ambessa, and Czajek runs the Ahri. Now, this is going to be interesting. I mean, I think Czajek has been quite a strong player. We didn't really get to see much yesterday because Vitality were already in the ground about 10 minutes in, but I'm excited to see what he can pull off when his day one Talia, I think, was fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's a little tough for him because there's very few options that have the mobility you need to kind of lean into the dive, but also has the range that you want to avoid just all leaning on towards something like a Zyra or a big ultimate from Alvaro as well. And there's so many peel twos on Movistar KOI. I like the Ahri in this situation to facilitate the dive, but my other eyes were on something like a Sylas, but I think you just end up with too many melees in that combo.
Well, we have to see how relevant he's going to be. I mean, I'm just excited. I think player base here coming into this game. Excited about the depth of talent that we've got on both sides. There's a lot of cool stories right now, but everyone knows that the story of Jojopyun, I mean, that's the one that takes a cake, isn't it? You know, first NA import, he came over. Day 1, he talked his split. Day 2, got absolutely whacked on his Ahri. So now we're left somewhere in the middle. How does he go up here against Czajek? As Czajek looks for his debut in good lighting. Both these teams right now sitting 1 apiece. And Movistar KOI, if you ask anyone, I mean, they had to verse KC, who right now are at the top of the standings. They had to verse Fnatic, who people are expecting are a top 2 team and sitting at 2-1 themselves. Where on the other side, Dagda, Vitality versus BDS, who've changed a lot in their roster. They managed to get a win there, but against Fnatic, I mean, again, blasted yesterday.
Yeah, I think it's cleanliness in the early game for me for Vitality. Even though they won the game against BDS, there was still Hilly getting caught out in several different positions. Started to fall behind in the early stages and were eventually able to bring it back. But Movistar KOI have shown that they are more than capable of being aggressive in the early stage and running away with a game from that position as well. So I think you have to be very careful from Vitality to make sure you are matching a lot of the aggression, and especially if there is some sort of lane swap, which I wouldn't be fully surprised if there wasn't.
Yep.
Trying to protect your Ambessa, trying to make sure that Movistar KOI are just not getting this early lead that they can snowball with.
Keep Nako safe, especially. I'm excited about this top laner. If people haven't seen him, and even yesterday in the games, most consistent player, and guy also with a lot of potential. I was just highlighting the mid laner of Vitality, but let's not forget the top laner, I think, has also been one of the strongest members, even in their losses. As we're about to get into Summoner's Rift, Movistar KOI versus Vitality. Winner moves to 2. And as we round out the first week, being in the upper echelon with the likes of Fnatic, KC, Giant X, BDS are also there. A great way to open your season and new year.
Doesn't look like we're going to have any sort of lane swap scenarios, though. More just everyone spanning out. Elyoya trying to get some vision on towards Vitality. They would have liked to get a ward down, just to spot out where Lyncas is, but now Elyoya actually...
Charms
great charm.
And it's a W as well. Dagda, that's an easy first blood. Beautiful setup from Vitality.
Beautiful setup from Czajek. I don't know how he managed to sneak that charm into the midst of everyone, but this new mid laner for Vitality has been stepping up wonders for them. He's consistently been one of the best players.
Really has, and we highlighted him for a reason. So, Movistar KOI now moving up top. They've cleared a ward, so you do get a CS for Jojo to kick things off, and Dagda, it looks like they are going to try and commit to this lane swap with Supa now sitting here with Alvaro in top enemy jungle.
Yeah, they wasn't sure if Carzzy and Hilly wanted to try and match. You can see Hilly actually is going to roam up, so Supa and Alvaro just trying to get some vision down to spot out exactly what's happening. But even if you lane in the 2v2 here, it still comes out in favor of Movistar KOI, because eventually Myrwn is going to pick up all the CS. He's going to be an experience accelerated with the experience.
Yep.
Whereas for Nako, I think he's just going to end up falling further and further behind. So Movistar KOI just trying to be a bit of a nuisance here.
Crash out not working though, and Nako gets damage actually down. Gatling gun won't help out too much, and now that Hilly's here in the 2v2 lane of his choosing, things seem a little bit easier here for Nako to try and step up to the wave and get experience.
I do think this ward is crucial here, though, for Vitality, because from Movistar KOI, because essentially they're going to spot out that Lyncas is on this top side, so they're going to realize, hang on, we need to crash this fairly quickly, because our jungler's nowhere nearby. This is a bit aggressive from Alvaro, though.
But it comes with an ignite. Damage on Hilly after the fact as well. Vitality, that 2v2 sent packing, or at least back into the turret for the time being, and thank you very much to our observers for the picture-in-picture. One great thing about Cassante and Dagda, why he's just picked all the time, is his survivability in these lane swaps is also just what makes him great.
Yeah, and there's no way, as you can see with the buy on the top side, that we're going to get any sort of dive, so Myrwn's going to be quite happy to just pick up a lot of the CS underneath the tower. And Lyncas moving back over towards his red had hit level 3, so I wasn't sure how aggressive he wanted to go, but I think with Alvaro getting that chunk on towards Nako, putting him below half HP, looks like Vitality not comfortable enough without knowing where Elyoya is to try and go for something special.
But as you said, I just want to point back to your earlier circle on the map. Lyncas was spotted out by that ward, heading down to the bottom side of the map though, trying to maybe play around that vision, skirt around it. Probably had some kind of idea. We're back up top because level 3 was just hit. Nako in a bit of trouble. He dashes in instead, tries to be sneaky with it, but flushes away. Hilly with the counter engage afterwards as Alvaro's a new target, but Nako has dashed away. And Supa's just there to help out as well. Getting a little bit frisky top, but Nako now without his summoner.
Yeah, he does have some bickies though, so be able to nom on them to make sure he's actually got a bit of a healthier.
He walked in though, flash shattering strike. Hilly can't save that. Nako crashed down on, but the dash from Ambessa, ridiculous, isn't it?
The mobility is insane on this champion, and Nako barely had to get it. That looked dicey though, and maybe now looking a little... Oh, Jojo went in!
Ooh, flash. Holy moly. On a ward though, they're trying to bait it out. Alvaro found Hilly and he dashes out himself. We're playing on the edge of a butter knife in this early game.
It is big for Hilly to stop the resets though, because it means that Nako should be able to get this farm, and that's why Hilly just kind of calling his top laner over to help out. If you can't reset here, Nako will actually get a really nice back timer here, so Hilly making it look a little dodgy, but it's actually a great call for him to make that stop.
True. Much better than the start from yesterday, I don't know. Hilly fans will be upset with me because I'm calling it out. I just have to say it because it was a little bit of a rough early game. But this time around, you know, playing more the Hilly way in a better way. His charm was a little bit early from Czajek there, but you won't care, Hilly. He wants a quick recall.
Honestly, yeah.
Who cares? Actually, this time who cares? Yep.
And you get the death guards as well, so we actually get back out onto the map faster. So honestly,
it's tech.
Yeah, I mean, genuinely. So it's 11-second dead timer. It would have taken him 3 seconds to walk back, if not, and then the 8 seconds on the reset. And look how quickly he's coming out of base. Like, he's going to be completely fine. So in the grand scheme of things, yeah, see, you get your death guards. Hilly's now mid lane faster, so it looked funky, but actually it gets Hilly back on the map faster.
It's plays like that again that, you know, that bring us into highlighting this play. A good charm up. Hilly is, as Dagda said, right here and ready. Jojo, that's a rough trade considering he just teleported back in. Czajek, yes, the same, but We're getting close to level 6s here for the all-in.
But I do love stuff like this because I think that's what's going to catch people off guard. Now, Alvaro being here is probably going to catch Hilly off guard.
Yeah, off guard, off guard. Shattering Strike, just a bit out of range from Alvaro.
He said on guard, but kind of missed everything, so it didn't really work out as well as he would like. But, oh, Hilly.
Okay, now he's off guard, Dagda. He's also offside, I think, as Hilly just runs back to safety net. Here's Jojo as well, Ignite down, and he just used his disengage. His flash is down as well. Jojo with his kill. And that time he's offside, off guard.
This time I don't have an excuse for him, unfortunately. We're getting caught out a little bit. And now it is going to set up Jojo with a nice little lead in the mid lane, because this was quite back and forth, and I actually really liked that he got in towards the mid lane quick. You could see it did catch Jojo off guard as he had just come back into lane, but it means now end up giving over the kill. And with the opportunity for the... I was going to say for the Void Grubs to be taken by Elyoya, you're just going to get the trade now for Lyncas on the opposite side.
As Carzzy matches his top side, Alvaro going to take True Shot Barrage, running away. His crash down is down. And they just back off, trying to get the wave pushed in. So we have standard lanes just upside down.
Yeah, I think, that, again, because Nako was farming with Hilly, you can see the difference in experience. We are about to tick over to 7. Nako not even level 6 yet. So this is where you're going to see the difficulty for the Ambessa. And if Ambessa falls behind, she's just not really as exceptional as you really need her to be. So I think we're going to see some attention from Lyncas to try and get a bit of a lead for Nako on that bottom side, because if this continues, you're just not going to outpace the K'Sante as he starts to build the armor that he needs to keep you in check.
And outpace the comp. We talked a little bit about it briefly in champs like Dagda as let's just pause the trades. Good charm. As Movistar KOI, I mean, you have Yone with Zyra and a K'Sante, and I just see this comp Dagda and I go, wow, those buttons stick. And it does feel like it is going to be hard to play, a front to back, all in, some of these skirmishes as well. Not only if they get ahead, but if they're given a little bit of time in this game as well.
Oh. Nope, Supa does not get interrupted. It actually pops a barrier to... so if you are shielded and take damage, it doesn't interrupt the reset, so that's why Supa used it. But now Alvaro...
Tempo. Yeah, Alvaro knocked into Lyncas. Can't do too much there, and you're right. I was like, that is a barrier. So I guess that's just worth it. You kind of like throw apples and oranges in the air. Barrier for the tempo, you know?
Why are you throwing apples and oranges at people?
I can juggle. I really can't.
But yeah, I mean, it does stop. It made sure that Supa is now on this bottom side to put even more hurt onto Nako, who's about to get dove. So great barrier because it keeps your tempo, and essentially you're not really going to need it for the foreseeable future unless this goes horrifically wrong.
Don't say that. I mean, it is an Ambessa, and I'm just waiting for those Drakehound steps to come into action. Supa's damage is going to be everything here with his phage as 3 members now converge. The flash immediately, but Nako able to respond. He doesn't even have Merc Treads, by the way. That was just quick as anything. As this summoner is down again, but he's able to defend the rest of the turret as the wave thins out, and it's only going to be a plate for the trade.
Still, it's a flash on Alvaro, which is way less valuable than the flash on Nako. He's going to have a Hex Flash and stuff available for him in the later stages of the game, but I think it really does just take the wind out of the sails of this Ambessa. She kind of wants that mobility in the team fights, especially if she's going to go in with public execution. So Nako not having that available just makes it so much more difficult for him to really be a threat in these side lanes and put hurt on towards Supa. Now, obviously, you've got Void Grubs at a minute 20, which you would like some of these flashes to be up for Alvaro, but yeah. I think it's still a decent trade when you can play things a little bit slower with the poke that you have on Movistar KOI's side.
So Movistar KOI picked this up. It'd be a big boon considering that Vitality would lead to 2 themselves. Actually, the winner of the grub fight really just goes to 2 to make it simple for everyone at home. So this could be everything as Alvaro is stunned down Carzzy. He arcane shifts afterwards, but remember, health bars are important here if this drags out enough. Dagda pointed out, but again, 45 seconds till those grubs, and it might lead into the dragon that is about a minute 30 behind.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eyes on Hilly because I think there's an argument here to actually forego contesting Void Grubs, because I just don't think you're in a position to go for it and look for a play on bot side instead. And if you'd gone for the play immediately where Lyncas is, you could actually catch Myrwn out as he pushes in this wave and then try and make something happen, but it would cause a lot of your summoner spells to be down, or sorry, ultimates to be down.
Yep.
So it looks like instead Vitality do want to try and contest this these Void Grub spawns, but I just don't know if they're really in a position to do so. MDK, or Movistar KOI at least don't have their first items completed, which makes things a little bit easier. Shush, shush, shush.
You know, yesterday, I said to our production team, I'm like, I promise I won't say Mad KOI again. It's just, you know, once you go through a full year of saying something, It's so hard to get out of it. As much as you want to practice and tell yourself, it's completely different. As those grubs have now spawned, by the way. I'm just going to say koi from now on. Make your life a little bit easier. Grub started, but it looks like a little bit of a fake here as Vitality have brought their support up. Hilly's now level 6 as well.
Look at the top though, Vi, going on towards Jojopyun.
Watching that. Knock up there. Jojo sees Lyncas and Vault Breaker away. Grub still being taken by Movistar KOI.
Yeah, this is the issue. I don't think you can really contest. Supa going to get a ton of damage onto Hilly. And now, TP from Jojo. Was it TP? That's just a great
He goes back and Lyncas walks right in. It's a trap. But imagine me with a fish head saying it as Movistar KOI. They're going to have free access to the grubs now as well.
Yeah, great pick. Again, Vitality just weren't in a position to go for this. Even if in an even fight, I don't know if they could really match up. And now, Carzzy taking a little bit of hurt, but Alvaro just going to walk away.
Oh.
Public execution, nice dodge from Jojo.
It really was, wasn't it? I mean, Jojo, this game's been playing so well, but how does he get out of this one? The answer is just like that. And Jojo walks out. Vitality's early game, it is slowly being taken away. Dagda, 5 grubs in total, 2k gold lead. And it's come off the back of some of these slick plays, these punishes from key members of Movistar KOI.
But now we got to see what happens with the Dragon. So Jojo TP'ing down to the bottom side to catch this wave that Czajek has already pushed in. He teleported in to push that as well. So I think this at least should be Vitality able to get the cross map. I'm just curious if Movistar KOI can maybe put up for a bit of a play from mid lane as a response to this. But Vitality, 2 Dragons at least. Not the worst of starts. But it's just that 2k gold lead that's starting to open up that is maybe going to start causing them issues.
It really feels like, again, you know, control is still going over to the blue side here with KOI, but I think I also want to point out that we've also got a Blade of the Ruined King very shortly on the way. This guy right here, who's having his day 1 performance again, and Czajek is feeling that. There you go, Malignant versus Components. Yone wins. Just the way it works is he's going to get the push in here, Dagda, and let's see where they move with it, because him and Alvaro actually syncing up a lot. I mean, Alvaro, to be fair, is also just everywhere.
Yeah, and this has kind of been the hallmark of Movistar KOI is Elyoya and Alvaro working together, controlling the map very well.
Yep.
And Alvaro now syncing up with Jojo. This was what I was hoping we'd see, is just how well this trio can work together. And didn't quite get it yesterday, unfortunately. It was a very close game between them and Karmine Corp, but still, Movistar KOI showing that they are a force to be reckoned with as they set up on this bottom side. I think you can look for push in mid with Corki and then start to lean on bot, which is why Vitality trying to defend.
It's Hilly himself moving in Tribrush, trying to contest with the vision, but Magnet Storm is the turn. You see the flash away from Lyncas because there was some Strangle Thorns about to be on the way. Elyoya sending out the Tangle Barbs himself, and Vitality are still on edge, but Hilly's just sitting there waiting. I'm not sure. Quickness in. Maybe a bait, maybe a ruse. It was! Jojo ultis out. Czajek follows through. Gets a reset, gets a flash. The charm, and Elyoya burns his 2. Hilly's getting hit some wild thorns on the way out, while Supa now has to pick apart the pieces, but Vitality have won that fight. They've subverted expectations, and Hilly, bit of a beta.
Yeah, nicely done by Hilly, catching people out, and now Myrwn in trouble on top side.
How much, though? Nako not thinking about the ulti for now. Wave just going to call in.
Yeah, you're just going to continue to push in, but you can still look to poke down underneath the tower. You got that shield, see? You go in for a quick trade and just continue to work Myrwn's health bar down. Makes it very difficult for Myrwn to stick around, especially if you know the Lyncas and that are starting to make their way up towards this top side.
That was shield bash damage. Dagda with grasp. It's pretty disgusting, honestly. It's like getting hit in the face by a peanut, you know? It's first start.
Unfortunately for Vitality, this was a great play by Hilly, but they end up losing out more on the back end. So you get the flash away by Lyncas, which means that the Strangle Thorns just end up missing out. This is a bit of an overstep. Elyoya comes across to try and catch the Ezreal and work with Supa moving over, but it means that then it's a 2v3 here. They think Czajek is too low to come in, but Hilly engages. Lyncas with a follow-up and the long-range up from Carzzy just catches Movistar KOI completely by surprise. And even here, Czajek holds the charm, hoping just his flash will burn Elyoya's flash. He gets the charm after, but Elyoya steadfast in that. Does not react immediately.
And Czajek got so much off the play as well. As we come back to live now, KOI are looking to get this turret, as that was a close charm yet again. Jojo has to go out to the Fade Unsealed, or rather Soul Unbound. Czajek thinking about the ult as well. I think I'm looking, and he's got it up and available. Charm narrowly does not connect, but in that last play, Dagda, he got a lot of gold back because Jojo was starting to lead the charge here in the mid lane, but now the lead swinging around, and Czajek is in a good spot.
Yeah, I think the problem is, though, it's a Yone. So inevitably in the side lane, it's going to be difficult. Yone very, very strong in that regard. And you're constantly have to just clear out ways as Supa in mid lane, which is opening up Alvaro and Elyoya to just pocket Jojopyun every single step forward he takes. So Vitality are trying to break this and trying to find some way to get this turret, because then you can push the wave in fully, but you're just not finding those opportunities.
I love how I'm talking about mid, like these small gold swings, and now I've kind of just realized that Elyoya the whole game has just been having a field day.
Yeah,
he's 40 CS ahead, he's 1200 gold ahead, so that's where that lead at the top of your screen is coming from right now. It'll shorten a little bit thanks to the fact that this turret is going to go down to Vitality, but yeah, Elyoya is strong. Seeker's Armor Guard second as well, note for the next fight. While Herald is now spawned in top, and whoever gets this one will lead to the feats of strength. Still not picked up, and remember, they're 2 a pop, but it looks like KOI are going to be faster. This looks like KOI will just get the feat of strength from it as well.
So Vitality traded hard for that bot lane turret, as we said, to try and make things a little bit easier for Czajek and keep Jojopyun in check, because Nako is actually doing well on the opposite side. Now they're looking for Jojo.
He's going to go back to his soul. Lyncas runs in. It's buffered by the ulti, but there's the cease and desist. Charm underneath turret. Czajek is tanking up, and he gets out in the end. Now Alvaro wants to seal the deal on a return trade, but Lyncas, even with the ignite down, there's not enough damage yet. This is the problem. Rell is getting the slow down. Dagda says, hang on a minute, there's a dog on the way. That floating little woofer in Supa is now in range. Cease and desist. Look at the blockage. Lyncas just walks into brush. He's now dead, and turret will take care of him while Supa gets the kill credit in his first of the game.
Supa with the toe beans of doom there, making his way down to the bottom side of the map and able to actually finish them off. Toe beans.
Toe beans.
The little beans on their toes.
Ah.
Yeah, the little on the other side. Yeah.
Yeah, toe beans.
Toe beans. Yeah.
I've never heard that one. Is that an Irish thing?
Maybe, I don't know. But we're rolling them anyway as Vitality going to move up. What?
Elyoya just popped his Seeker's Armor Guard by accident in front of Dragon. I love our observer just disappeared from that as soon as he saw it, by the way.
No, it's you see something you're not supposed to immediately just move the camera away. We don't want to embarrass him. But it is at least a nice Dragon take here for Elyoya, because this could have potentially been third Dragon for Vitality, but again, investing that play onto the bottom side, they don't get a chance. So now I think it just comes down to Ambessa. Ambessa, Rakan.
I'm dumb, Dagda, because now it's feats of strength. Excuse me. 5 grubs, not 6. Now KOI have it. Right, just about 2 minutes too late here. Or 2 minutes too early, I should say. So feats of strength now go over to KOI as Jojo's going to be in trouble again. Look at Hilly with the quickness. He wants in, but Alvaro's here for backup. Will Jojo be able to survive? Yes, thanks to W. Carzzy can't finish him off. Mystic shot onto Alvaro as well, and it's good defense play here from KOI.
Yeah, Jojo will be able to get back, but he's going to be in a little bit of a hurt spot. Doesn't have the TP to get back onto the map, so Nako going to push him bot. I think Czajek might be a little late to the top side. Actually, no. Myrwn's going to reset as well, so I think it's just going to be a case of getting these waves in order and then trying to look for the Rakan taking about 2 minutes. At least Jojopyun should be able to be in a position, I think, to finish the second item at that stage.
Yep.
You have the Myrwn mana completed for Supa, so I think Movistar KOI should be in a decent spot, but I like that Vitality are still looking for these picks, because they just don't really have a huge amount of control over mid-wave. It's why Corki is so strong at this point in the game.
Sure.
His ability just, like you'll see in a second, like queue the backline minions, completely clear them out. You can open up a Gatling gun, and it just makes it impossible to contest on the wave state as Carzzy, so...
Oh,
Jojo,
great
nice
dodge.
feed.
Yeah, his feet are looking good here, Dagda, as he looks for a little bit more damage, actually hitting everything onto Czajek, and now Alvaro's there. A quickness out, or rather, quick feet with the flash in the end. Czajek's out, but that turret might drop because of it.
It 100% will, and not a huge amount invested either. Alvaro went for the ultimate, because if you get that kill, that just sets you up for the Rakan take, but they're going to be happy out. Hilly now taking some damage off Supa.
He used W, he has no flash available, but Supa's scared to chase. He's deep in enemy territory here. KOI are going to help get the red buff, though, in the end. And Elyoya is, they're not stopping here. Herald in hand. KOI really taking advantage of one simple play.
Yeah, and there's nothing that you can really do here as Vitality. They're going to be trying to defend, but...
Ow!
Nako only on reset. Myrwn going to try and interrupt. Gets that interrupt to the bottom side, so this is still a 4v4, and Hilly's so low.
Supa just wants a phosphorus bomb to take him down. Corki, one of the champions with the best Trinity Force power spikes in the game, really. Right now especially, just think about that extra true damage as Vitality playing on the defense once again. They've got a couple of dragons in their back pocket, but Remember, we're talking about feats of strength for KOI. We're talking about a very good Yone at the moment, a strong jungle, which is at 170 CS, 76 CS. How hard is it to speak today, Dagda?
I'm all right.
It could be the poncho.
It doesn't imbue you with a style.
Smells this like
you bought it. I don't know.
I bought it from like a second-hand shop, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's who sells it.
That's who said. Yeah, but like I've never seen anything before. And you know what my wife said? Hannah's like, get it. It'll look good.
No comment.
Yeah. I think actually at the time I was with Cadril as well, and he said, "Oh yeah, man, that really suits you." And then everyone else has said the opposite. So I don't know if he was baiting me. I don't know if my wife was baiting me. I just kind of feel like Vitality in this game, you just don't really get the break you're looking for, and you're looking for answers, right? And maybe you find it with a second item, you know, maybe a second poncho, right? You find it with Czajek, now on 2 items himself. Ezreal as well. You look at Carzzy, very strong here. Maybe those answers will come around the Arakan you talked about as well.
I'm very impressed you managed to bring that back to gameplay, because I had no idea how we were going to swing that one.
that's why I get paid.
Vitality trying to swing up towards this top side, but Movistar KOI with them now. Alvaro has the opportunity to flash over the wall if he wants to. Just goes to the crash down, but you're already in a bit of a precarious spot here. There's not, like, you don't have push in mid. Supa's going to be able to contest that wave state, and now you're being pushed back on top side as well.
Deep Vision aligned here, as you can see, into the tri-brush, into this entrance outside of red where Carzzy's now walking over. It's great vision that Hilly wasn't able to clean just then. So for Vitality, full information gathered, given over to KOI. As resets also came through in that time frame. Zonya's picked up by Elyoya. I'm looking at a 2-item Jojopyun as well. I'm seeing across the board, a lot of damage has just been picked up. Ready for this next couple of minutes.
Yeah, I think it's... There's not enough of a goal lead now to really differentiate these two teams. It really is going to come down towards engage, and that's going to be on Hylissang to try and start this off, because you have the range advantage for KOI. He finds Alvaro.
You said it, Hilly starts it, but who finishes it? Alvaro just stands there waiting. Teleport flank is huge as well. That ward they couldn't clear. Now gives Myrwn access, but Lyncas is already out by the time he gets there. He moves to mid, has inside turret access, but no demolish up and available. Myrwn only with the chunk.
But that's huge for Vitality. Nako's still pushing him bot, and he kept his TP. Now the
Cease and desist on the Supa. The AD carry caught out. They all jump in the back line, but Supa's not knocked up. He was pushed forward by Lyncas, and Hilly got baited in. KOI get the opening kill of the fight. And you saw there, Dagda, the Q from Lyncas didn't sync up with Hilly.
And now they want to just try and keep getting this poke down. Now, Myrwn doesn't have the teleport to try and come back into this fight, so Movistar KOI just want to try and play it slow, make sure there's no window for Vitality to get anything off the back of this, and it's just Hilly who's gone. Dragon next in the eyes.
Just a replay of that, but for now, as I see all the summoners drop down, the Dragon being the cost is quite nice here. KOI going to match 2 for 2. And Ocean Soul, remember, with 2 Ocean Dragons stacking up nicely, and great wave clear from Supa as well, while Carzzy denied access to this outer turret once more.
Yeah, this is, again, Supa is so good at clearing out these waves, so not able to really do anything. The wave is pushed in by Czajek in that top side, though, so Vitality's setting up towards this Arakan area, and Movistar KOI will have to phase check this, which is not ideal into things like a Charm or into Lyncas as well, but without the ultimates, it's way less threatening.
Close Carzzy. Arcane shift away just in time. Jojo is seeking that angle. What kind of road do they want to build this time around as Vitality playing with River? It's about Hilly's angle, you're right.
I don't think he was spotted because of the control ward, so Lyncas is in behind Supa. Ultimate is just a few seconds away.
Control ward down, he's not spotted. True Shot Barrage pokes Jojo. KOI are stepping up through this mid-wave. Lyncas with the all-time flank. It could change the game.
But they don't know where Movistar KOI is. Jojopyun now moving up towards the top side. They'll have vision that he's gone, but do you feel comfortable to dive Supa?
Under turret, he's there. He's early, but doesn't matter. The perfect execution makes a public version right down for the shutdown. Now numbers advantage is big as it pays off, and Alvaro's ulti on the return puts them in trouble. I'm looking at KOI now because they're in this choke in a very bad spot as Hilly gets the knock up, gives the kill over. Myrwn the tank wants something, and he gets a flip, granted. But what can Elyoya do? At half HP, Vitality run away, but 2 members dead, and the Baron sitting there with Arakan as an option.
I think the Baron is the wrong call here. I think you do Arakan, and then you look for the reset, but
they're scared.
They don't feel like they can do this quick enough. 10 seconds on Supa. Movistar KOI end up pushing them away. Carzzy just going to look to interrupt the resets. That was a great flank from Lyncas, but nearly end up dicey on the outro. We get to see it again here. Because this is wonderful. Like, again, use of control wards, fantastic. Unfortunately, the Q doesn't immediately hit onto Supa, but it doesn't matter. You have enough follow-up here to make sure that he's going to be okay. But then they've already used 3 ults essentially there, so they don't really have a huge amount on the exit, and they get split up. Alvaro goes forward here with Myrwn to try and keep the rest of the carries off. But Hilly, he's fine. He'll W out of this.
Yep.
Won't W out of this.
He just sent out Dagda. What have you done?
Sorry. Didn't. Yeah. All right. Well, Hilly goes down.
Yeah.
Now you have no support for your engage for these potential. Okay. Oh, he's gone.
These wards are hurting Vitality just after a great flank from their jungler. They come back. 2 now dead on Vitality. Baron Arakan, I know this time, KOI will start it.
Yeah, I really think Arakan in these situations is so much better because you get the buff, then you can take the potential Baron fight after as well. And with Dragon going to be up in a few minutes as well, it feels like this is kind of back-to-back now, a potential 3rd Ocean for Movistar KOI, plus then taking down some of these turrets. That's such a huge swing off of these 2 picks.
I mean, Elyoya finds the grasping roots. And now, as you said, Dagda, that GA buff, the ability to dive, well and truly alive. KOI back up in the lead, and props to Vitality here in this game. They found flanks before. It looks like they're trying to do it again.
But the entire team is flanking, which means there's not really anything flanking. They're just going to fight a front to back now.
Knock. Hilly runs away.
It's Nako.
Nice one. That's good. Yeah, that's really good. Damn. It's one of those lines you're like, could have had that, you know? Could have been mine. And Nako is here. He's just dealing with Myrwn. Or he's going to ignore him and get the turret. You know, it always, you know, Curly from the Three Stooges used to make that noise. You know, knock. You're like,
you said this, I haven't watched it.
Yeah, it's like,
and I'm old.
It's from the 40s, I think. That's, to be fair. You know, they're like.
Did you tell people I was 48 the other day or something?
I said you were 42.
Which is not even close.
I said you looked great for 42.
Because I'm not 42.
To be fair, I called Broken Blade 27. And then, you know, I had producer go, no, he's 25. So I apologize to both Dagda and Broken Blade fans. Yeah, they are. It was a joke, Dagda. I know you're only 30.
We don't talk about it.
Everyone's getting older, and I don't know how to stop that. Well, KOI are in front of the Baron. I know how to stop this Vitality, though, Dagda. I see everything up and available. I see a pick.
I don't think you can, though, because you've still got that Arakan buff, so
yeah,
you just take the fight, and you're happy out regardless.
Good shot. Alvaro looks for an engage. KOI is still thinking, what can we do? Myrwn gets a flip back, and remember, those Arakan buffs are going to outlive the Baron at this rate. Good ulti here from Jojo. Hilly almost dies. Running into it, and Myrwn, you can see, doesn't care. Perfect all out with the Stranglethorns in the middle, and as he goes over the wall, they still haven't expended the extra life. The KOI is swimming nice.
And now Carzzy just wants to try and poke them down, see if he can delay this at all. The TP was used by Jojopyun to get in. If they can kill him, he can't get back, but there's just nothing there. They will take mid lane tower as some solace, but this game is slipping very quickly out of their hands.
It really is, and even though it's been competitive and I've enjoyed the journey of this game, however slow the kills have been, you know, I have to come back and say that every single time we get in a fight with Elyoya, like, the damage is obvious.
But this is why we've seen it in so many other regions. Like, obviously there's Fearless and stuff, but I think Zyra is incredibly strong in this patch, and you get to see here exactly why. If you're playing dive, trying to jump in onto the Zyra is next to impossible. He gets locked up, great engage from Alvaro. Jojo as well, great positioning here to threaten on towards Lyncas and Hilly, knowing that, look, he can go down, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't even fall in the end, but yeah, Movistar KOI, great re-engage off the back of that fight.
And after this game, it's not finished yet, but like with the 6k gold lead, you have to think that KOI look to close this out. I have to say that Jojo has now had another fantastic performance.
Yeah. I mean, look, let's be real. The Ahri was a couple of pixels wide on the charms, but in general was quite impactful in that game yesterday as well. So I think Jojo's been a great addition. Vitality, though, at least did sneak away this Ocean Dragon, so it won't be a third Ocean Dragon yet for Movistar KOI, but I think the real problem again is just this Baron buff is going to wreck any structures that they have outside the base and make it impossible for them to contest.
Elyoya's conversion on turrets as well with those autos. You can see it just does so much work. And outer turret, inner bot, both gone. In mid as well, excuse me, and now it's only inhibitor turrets left in the game. Nako's backing away in case KOI wanted to go a bit further themselves, but Hilly has been found on the edge here, trying to get some vision. Alvaro just won't let him in as KOI get their waves in due diligence with this Baron buff.
Yeah, I think at this stage, Movistar KOI just kind of starting to outscale.
Yep.
Yes, you've got Ambessa who does scale reasonably well, same with your Ezreal, but Corki matches that if he's not stronger, to be honest, as you get towards the later portion of the game. And your Yone is just so far ahead of the Ahri, plus the inability to engage onto his Zyra just makes this so hard to play. So at this point, Vitality kind of need a miracle, and they have to hope for these picks, but this is why I think Movistar KOI's mid-game has actually been great. They've been very clean at getting their waves into a position, so you can't really find those moments to kick back against them.
They're set up here in the proof of the pudding, right? As Myrwn's going to be the target. I mean, Carzzy has the damage to start taking him down, but he's going to take a while to flip back the Arcane Shift right into him, and now get ready for some true damage. However, flashing away, he knows he's about to die, and shutdown given over to Carzzy. Vitality, there's one pick. It might open up the game as Carzzy's damage on Elyoya very insurmountable right now. Flash away from Czajek's charm as the ulti still comes through. Cease to desist, public execution, another shutdown. But in the backline, look at Jojo. He found a two-man ulti. He's bringing the fight back until Carzzy says, nah, bugger it. I'll carry the game myself.
There's the pick that Vitality needed. They started with the tankiest member and they finish with the support Vitality. That was fantastic, but the big problem is there's just nothing on the map for them to take right now, so it will just be gold. But the inhibitor went down, but you see here, Myrwn gets the knockback on towards Carzzy, but doesn't actually have the follow-up with the damage that's coming through from Nako and Carzzy. And again, Carzzy kind of happy to just play in behind his front line here. Some poke goes down initially, and Alvaro does a good job to dodge the charm here from Czajek, but Lyncas, great flank once again, immediately onto Supa, uses the ultimate to interrupt the CC coming through from Alvaro, and Jojopyun does his best to get onto the back line, but unfortunately, he's just not enough to be a one-man army right now.
There's all this setup, Lyncas, Nako, Dagda, he had honorable mentions, great mentions there, but, you know, Carzzy hitting a lot of his skill shots, and obviously just the raw damage that he was set up to do in that fight as well. Crazy. Even the True Shot Barrage hitting at the start, Elyoya felt it, and I'm going to repeat your point. It is a shame that there was nothing up on the map, because Vitality, a dream fight when you see that the Dragon's going to be spawning in about 3 minutes' time. We apologize. Of course, Spectator right now does not like Dragons. Baron's up in 2 minutes as well, by the way. The Red Bull Baron power play from KOI ended right then and there. And Vitality's still in with a chance.
They just have to make that magic happen once more. At least you've got flashes on people like Hylissang to try and go for it, but a lot of those key flashes on the opposite side are starting to come up. Elyoya, Jojopyun will have his Supas, has now come back up as well. You've even got the Zhonya's Hourglass that's been completed for a while on Elyoya, so targets really starting to diminish. So you can see Vitality, Lyncas there, just seeing if he can find some way in to play around vision and look for a pick on Movistar KOI. But Nako's a long way away from having any sort of threat on top side.
Long way away, but he gets away pushed in regardless and buys him some time. Myrwn pops up out of nowhere and Hilly just says g'day. Now you can see Elyoya is trying to move into position, get a grasping roots onto Carzzy, cleanses out, not caught out by Jojopyun, who finds his own angle at half HP. Is their superstar AD carry? He picks up some lettuce from the ground. Okay. 99 cents, Dagda. That's worth it for the health.
He's still, though, now Nako is on that top tower. No one has reset on Vitality's side. Third Dragon, I think you're okay to give across Vitality if you're actually starting to get to work on these outer turrets. You can see it's about to fall there, and he's able to work through the super minions. So Movistar KOI starting to slip a little bit. They're trying to respond with Jojopyun on his bottom side, but Czajek is going to be in position to answer. So it's a Dragon for tier 2.
Yep.
If you can get the soul, it's worth, but I actually like the call from Vitality, just play the map state.
Well, Elyoya at least moving to soul point, but as you said, getting some gold in their back pocket to catch up, maybe to these fourth items, which Carzzy was already there, but looking at Czajek specifically is... As I'll also note, third item for this very bruisery fight with Unending Despair picked up second. Also going to be worth it. 4 items on Nako as well.
I think the question now is what happens at potential Baron fight, because you got Supers pushing in the top side. So someone will always have to deal with that on Vitality's side, which means that it's a bit easier for Movistar KOI to threaten the likes of that mid inhibitor if Vitality overextends the top side. Hilly once more, just trying to pincer here. Lyncas, again, I think he's just snuck around the vision once more. He's in the back line.
Celestial opposition taken care of. You mentioned Lyncas.
He's going to be spotted here.
Yeah, he's got it. They've got to catch onto this a second time, right? Surely.
But it is just drawing Movistar KOI back away from these kind of dangerous areas, like getting vision set up in this top side, being able to contest on mid-wave. Super Creeps are going to do their work in the top end, though, and again, someone does need to deal with that on Vitality, or else they have to look for the engage.
There is some good poke onto Supa, so it might set up an angle here as Lyncas once again trying to get back behind, but now he walks away. Charm doesn't connect, and I'm waiting for something big to start from the likes of Alvaro, who's got his flash available as well, mind you, but one thing is Dagda as the flip comes in. Czajek ulti's out. VIT though catches the superhero AD carry. He's almost dead until Supa comes in and shuts him down. There's another kill onto Czajek, and that's what they needed to get back into the position they're in.
I cannot believe Jojo managed to catch both of the carries for Vitality. The words were on the tip of my tongue to say, it's so mobile, there's no way you can hit them, but Movistar KOI find a way, and now can Lyncas answer.
Oh, he's trying onto Supa again. Public execution gets into the backline, and Naak is doing work. Supa flashes away, though, but they've run out of their damage. Their 2 carries are down. And KOI, with their import mid laner, with the NA superstar, the youngest LCS champion, are about to win their second game of the LEC Winter Split. As Jojo under turret cares not, and with that turret dropping down as well, KOI move on to the last. Lyncas left standing, but for how much longer? The ace comes through, and KOI take down the B, secure the honey for week 1, and move to 2 wins.
That is some very happy folks from Movistar KOI. That was a fantastic game. And Vitality tried to match them in so many different areas, but the early picks, the early gold lead, really coming back to bite Vitality. And the fact that you had that objective control just meant there was nothing on the map, and Vitality actually found these windows of opportunity. True.
I feel like, again, it's hard fought from Vitality, but for KOI, right time, right place. You can vote for your key player of the game, Elyoya, Jojo, or Supa. Always a good question here as KOI pick up their second win and move up towards the top of the standings towards the likes of Fnatic. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a quick break, and afterwards, Sjokz is actually standing by with the trash talker himself. It's Jojopyun.